with Joey Sinor, the captain of the Woodville West Torrens Football Club senior team. Welcome to In the Eyrie, Joey.
Thanks for having me, Hoodie. Good to be here.
I'm really interested to hear from you how you're feeling about the new season with the new coach. Last 2 years, been in we haven't been in finals, which isn't really something we're happy about. So, how do you feel about this year going into 2024?
Yeah, it's obviously really exciting. First of all, obviously a changing of the guard, I suppose, with Sammy Jacobs taking on the coaching role. So, yeah, really excited to be able to play underneath Sauce and I suppose put into place what we've been practicing over the pre-season. So, as you said, last 2 years have been pretty below par, I suppose, for the expectations at this footy club. And yeah, we're under no illusions that we want to be back playing finals this year, and pretty confident with the playing list and the coaches that we've got at this footy club that we can get back there pretty quick.
Just on the playing list, we've had a few recruits come over to the Eagles. What's some of those recruits? What have they brought, and how have you seen the recruits fitting into the playing group? But how excited are you with some of those new players?
Yeah, we've had a few blokes come over from interstate. So, from Victoria, we've had Cam Fleet. Well, sorry, Cam Fleeton was from GWS, but he's Country Vic from Geelong. And Joshy Morris, who's come over from the Hawthorn, obviously.
Yep.
So, and Jack Boyd, who's been injured at the moment. But they're the three main ones for Victoria. And then we've had Jordan Moore come over from Glenelg, and Lukey Mackay, who's come over from Canberra. So,
yeah,
but yeah, all great people. I think the Eagles supporters will be pretty excited when they get to come out and watch a lot of those guys play. In particular, I reckon Cam Fleeton's going to be a real gem of a pickup. Throughout the years, he's sort of that drop-off half-back who can defend his man, but shows good support in the air. So, yeah, I think we've got some good players there that'll be long-term players at this footy club.
Oh,
and that's also the idea. You don't want to bring players in who are just here for a couple of years. You want players who are going to buy into the footy club and make it a long-term career.
Joe, just on that, do you, as the captain and someone that's been here a long time, do you get around them and help, support them obviously as a captain, but do you give them a sort of a journey on the history and how we act at this football club, and is that well received?
Yeah, for sure. I think that comes down to the culture of the footy club, and we touch on that quite a lot through our leadership stuff. That we're sitting in this room at the moment. It's the Champions Bar or the downstairs function, but this is a sort of history that if you can sort of get across to a lot of those new recruits and show them the fabric of the footy club. The idea is you want these guys playing here as long as they can and making a family of it. Just like I think of Tomo, who's still at this footy club. He was drafted from the Crows, and we got him in the mini draft, and he's living in Adelaide. Well. He's got a family here now, and he's played. He'll be coming on 250 games this year. So we certainly try and show him our history and our past and what the club stands for, and I think over time that holds up in good stead.
We talked off air a little bit about yourself and how many games you've played and your journey a little bit, and you sort of looked over at the 200 club and thought it would be great to be there one day, but you've won already a couple of club champs. How important would it be to you to get the 200 or to win it? I mean, it's a silly question really. Of course it's important that you want to win another premiership, but does that burn in your stomach to get another premiership, to get a 200?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's all about the your team's success. That's why you do it. Fortunate enough, obviously, to win 2 premierships under Sheeds, and that I think when you look back on your footy career, you'll always think back to the years you won premierships. You don't think about the years you won club champions and all that stuff. But yeah, so you do it for the memories that you create with your mates and what comes from that. So certainly driven to be able to, firstly, just want to get back playing on Adelaide Oval in the finals.
Yeah,
that's the first challenge, just to get back there as a footy club, and then if we can hold up the cup, that's obviously the ideal ultimate. But yeah, there's a lot of steps along the way. But yeah, really keen to get success at the club again.
Just on Sauce, what's he brought to the club, or how's he brought to the team? I guess this year, Obviously, you've had Sheeds in the last few years, won back-to-back premierships. We all know Source Junior, the football club, and obviously had success at an elite level. But what's he brought to the team? And
Yep.
it's, I guess, a bit of a change, but also something that you've been really impressed with.
Yeah. So obviously, Source has been around the footy club. Well, he hasn't been around, but he played junior footy at this
Yeah,
club. So I think he's got a real idea of what the club stands for, and so certainly across the pre-season, he always drives the history of the footy club into us,
yeah, great.
which I just spoke about in
Yeah,
terms of our recruits and all that. But I suppose the energy he's brought, he has really good relationships with both senior players and puts a lot of time into the younger boys
yeah,
coming up, which is really noticeable. So I think his connection throughout the group is really good, and he's also obviously he's been around footy clubs a long time, so he's got a good game sense as well with
yeah,
his ruck craft
yeah.
for us
Of course.
midfielders, which is
Yeah.
important. And so his ability to get around to the whole playing list and yeah, galvanise us is his strength for sure, and it's really noticeable.
What have you been impressed with this year with some of the players coming through? Like, we're at a stage at a footy club where there's lots of under 18s coming through. So
Yeah,
there must be a few players that you're excited about taking that next step. You've seen them probably last year a little bit. Uh, it's just been a phase of our footy club that we've started to. We've always had great juniors,
yeah.
but there must be a few that you're really excited about.
Yeah, there is. I think I actually spoke to Source about this a couple of weeks ago. It was really noticeable what the impact some of the younger junior footy players are starting to have at the
Yeah,
club, and I'm not sure whether that's just they feel the burden of, well, not the burden, but the responsibility now
mm,
to take the club forward. It's their footy club. It's time to make their stamp
yeah,
on the club and make it theirs. So, and that's sort of off the back of how Sheeds left the footy club as
yeah,
well. He put a real emphasis on some of the younger core group of players over the last 2 years and put a lot of
yeah,
time and games into them. So I feel like that's going to set us up really really well this year. And Adam Deloyer springs to mind straight away. He's going to be an absolute gem in the midfield and take and be probably almost in a way take the midfield group on his back
yeah.
and
Great.
for the next 10 years or however long he decides to play here. And then you got blokes like Bucky who's gone forward now and he's
Yeah,
really exciting and he'll kick a ton of goals and be a bit of a crowd favourite. And then down back you've got obviously got Luke Beacon, Maxi Lister and
yeah,
Joshy Morris are the younger three across there, and Jordan Moore is obviously going to be a nice recruit, and Will Pearce, who's injured at the moment, but he'll be lively up forward, and Cookie and a lot of these guys. So there's a stack of young players who have got that 20 to 40 games under
yeah.
their belt, which is important. And once they've got that, they can really start to play consistent league footy.
You've said off there that you played 60 games in the reserves, which is quite. That's probably two. That's probably 3 seasons. Uh, how do you see the SANFL? Do you see it takes a bit of time in the resis?
Yeah,
It's actually sort of amplifies the quality of the competition. Really, Joey Sinor playing 60 games in the resis, but you've won some great awards and been an amazing club club player. But do you see that you got to do your time in the resis?
yeah, I do. And that's probably easy for me to say because
You've
I've
done
had to
it.
do it. But you do see a lot of players come and go. They
Yeah,
lose patience
yeah,
after 1 or 2 years.
yeah,
But I suppose what I just try and speak to those guys about, or the players that are at the club now, I think it's one thing to get frustrated, but at the end of the day, you got to be playing good footy if you want to play league footy.
yeah,
So if you like me, I probably played a couple of years of average reserves footy. So I didn't have anyone to blame but myself.
yeah,
But once you're playing good, consistent reserves footy
yeah.
at a high level, you're going to get your opportunity
Yeah,
without a doubt. So I think what it did for me though is it gave me gratitude for playing league footy at the
yeah,
club,
yeah,
and certainly never take playing league footy for the Eagles for granted. And sort of check, that's why I try and play on the edge most weeks and try and treat it as if
yeah.
you know in a way, a couple of bad games I might get omitted from the side. So sort of use that as a bit of a tool to drive my career.
Was there a turning point, Joey, that you said, there was a turning point where you go, if I want to be a league player, I need to do
Mm.
this, or I've got to work harder here, or
Yeah. Um, not not really, but there was a moment that I'd done a pre-season at the start of 2017, and Godsey gave me a call and he basically said, "I don't have a spot for you on ball, but do you want to try back pocket?" And I jumped at the opportunity to do that because I just wanted to play league footy. I didn't really care where it was. I'd never played back in my life, like not 1 minute of backline footy, but he gave me a trial game there and I was pretty average, to be honest. So I didn't think I'd play round one. And then he backed me in round one to play out at Centrals. I played on a player called Justin Hoskin, who was a fair play. He played about 200 games for Centrals and went okay and managed to play every game that year and a couple of finals, and that was the turning point.
Won a club champ too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, went on to win the club champ that year. So, but yeah, it was a strange one, and I quite often talk about half back and having another string to your bow. It is one of the things that keeps you fresh in a way, because if you're not playing on ball all the time, you've got another avenue. So it's good for players to have that up their back pocket.
Joey Sinor is the captain. What's the non-negotiables for you, for your teammates when you go out and you cross that line at Oval Avenue, Montane Care Oval? What's your expectations of your players?
I think it's probably for most captains, but that you're given 110% every time, and it's compulsory. There's no pick and choosing about that. Yeah, it's non-negotiable. That's the word I was looking for. But you want to walk off the ground. Look, winning and losing is what it is. It's a part of footy, and I think the older I get, I'm starting to get a little bit better with that. But if you come off the ground and you've had a crack and you've given it everything you can, that's all you can do. You keep your head held high, and quite often when you got good players around you, if everyone's bought in and had a crack, the result usually takes care of itself.
Now it's time for a few fun questions, Joey. So we've had some great answers, some questions there today, and really enjoyed having a chat with you. If you had the opportunity to take somebody away on a holiday, were you just you and a teammate, who would that be?
There's probably a few I'd like to take. If I'm looking for a bit of I'm 30, I've got 2 kids, so I'm looking for a bit of a low key, keep things under wraps sort of holidays. I think I'll take Matty Goldsworthy. Got quite a lot in common with him. We both love our sport. So I think a few beers, having a bet, watching the cricket or the footy, whatever it is, and just talking to trash.
You wouldn't get into too much trouble with Golds.
Nah, it'd be pretty straight down the line,
pretty consistent,
which is what you want. So he'd be good fun.
If you needed a bodyguard, if Joey Sinor will become famous for whatever reason, and you need a bodyguard, who would you call for in the team?
Fernsey. I'd have Jack Ferns for sure, I think. He's got his stickers on his arms, so that would scare a few away. And
he's actually, when I first came to the footy club, he was the first person that came out to me and said, "I'm Jack Ferns, and welcome to the Eagles, and I love the Eagles. My grandfather played here, and welcome." And I've never forgotten it. And he looked quite daunting figure with all the tats, but he was the first to come out and reach and say welcome. So I always remember that. What if you had the opportunity to have anyone in the world, Joey, at your dinner table? Who would you pick? You got 2 picks there.
Oh, anyone in the world? Probably Justin Bieber. I'd like to chew his ear off, I reckon. And get him singing, maybe around the table.
I didn't expect
got
that,
time
Joey,
for him. And another one I'd like. I love my cricket, and I probably can't go past. Well, he's not here anymore, but Warnie. Warnie would be good.
Great
good.
I
think he's got some character, and he'd have some stories.
If you're on a deserted island and you couldn't get off that island, mate, who would you like to have on there? I wouldn't have thought it was Matt Goldsworthy.
No, not now. Now I'm thinking, who the hell's going to get us off this island? Probably say Sammy Rowland. Rowland. He's a bit of a lateral thinker at times. He's a teacher, so I feel like he'd be able to come up with some sort of idea or build something. That could get us off that island.
Joey Sinor, captain of the club, mate. We're very proud of you. Thanks for having a chat today with us, mate. It's been great, and have a great season 2024.
All good, Hoodie. Anytime. Thanks for having me.